Good day.
Focus Friday for us. We're working on locking in, keeping our stuff clean. We have first, second, third down, red zone, all the situations kind of mixed in there. The guys are locked in. This is a focused and serious group, so it just fit that. And just reminded them at the end, we're ready. We're ready to play ball. So fired up to see these guys work. Let's see, any questions?
With the tight ends down, Dave,
Yeah.
Are you thinking about bringing up the guy you just signed, or might you bring up an extra running back, for instance?
Yeah, we're going to look at all that stuff. Again, I think it's to our advantage not to announce what we're going to do there, but we definitely need help there knowing Tommy and Ian will not be up for this week.
What kind of added, I don't want to say pressure, but added responsibility is that put on a guy like JT?
I think that he's been practicing with the ones all camp. He's made great strides. He's looked really good in what we've asked him to do. I don't think this adds pressure to him. This is a situation he's been in all camp. So, this is just another opportunity for him to show us what he can do. Jordan Matthews stepped in big for us this camp, so really excited to see him out there and to watch him play. Those are the guys that carried the load. They got the reps, so we feel great about going out there with them.
JT be the starter, you don't want to announce that. Who would be the starter there?
Yeah, JT. JT will be our starter at tight end.
Dave, are you a person who watches football at home on a Thursday night?
Absolutely. And again, I can't say that I watch the whole thing. We got 4 kids and, B and Amaya need bedtime stories, so that takes precedent in our house. But we certainly do. Monday nights is a great opportunity. I get home and doing my film study and Ben and Ashby will pop in there, do their homework while we're watching Monday Night Football a little bit. So it's definitely a part of what we do. I can't say that we have football on all the time because we got to kind of meet the needs of the whole group, So, but yeah, we definitely enjoy doing that.
Early in that game, there were several flags in a row on the Ravens for the illegal formation stuff. Seeing that on a Thursday night, does that almost become a teaching tool for you? Just kind of remind guys, hey, they're looking.
Absolutely. It talks about the emphasis of the officials and what they're looking for. That's something they communicated to all of us throughout the preseason. All of the crews that we had made sure they came up and say, hey, we're trying to make a point of emphasis on this. We'll tell you the first time. We'll give you a warning. And then I think as the second and third game came in, they kind of gave me the warning in the locker room. They're like, here's your warning. We're looking at this. So we all know, and it's something league-wide that we have to be cognizant of.
Did you get to watch the game last night, or somebody watched, I assume, and y'all learned something about as far as kickoffs, anything that sort of stood out that's gonna help you guys moving forward? Yeah,
I watched a little bit last night. Got to see some of it this morning. Just got some of the notes on the 11 kickoffs. There were a number of touchbacks. And then I think it was there was a 28-yard return. I can't remember exactly the stats, but just to see that, to see the value of how much can we take advantage of in the return game, and what do we want our approach to be on the kickoff coverage unit. We certainly had those conversations, Tracy and I.
So Dave, just to be clear, do you go and talk to your tackles like in the next couple of days and say, hey, listen, this is obviously they're really not kidding about enforcing this?
That's something we've been talking to them about throughout the preseason because the officials were giving us notice the whole time, really, as we got into those games, talking about it. And I was like, okay, if they keep mentioning this, it's probably something we should talk to our tackles about. And so Goody and Joe have talked to the tackles and mentioned that to them and pointed out what happened last night.
Find it to be interesting. Usually when it's a point of emphasis like that, Dave, you see it called a lot in the preseason. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was, but I don't think it was much in your games.
Right.
And then just to see it so extreme yesterday, did that strike, a chord with you?
Just take notice to what they're talking about and what they send us videos weekly as well, so all of those, whatever they emphasize in those videos, it's going out to all the crews, and so we know where their eyes are attuned to in those, and so we always show the team, in our meetings, we'll show short clips of like, hey, this was a film that was sent out to each team this past week, and just put it on their radar. These are things they're looking for.
Dave, Josh being questionable, is there a thought process to he is a backup,
yep.
And you do have quite a bit of O-line depth. Is there a thought of maybe just kind of easing him into maybe being in a uniform? Because if somebody goes down and he's in, and then he re-aggravates the injury, you're kind of down an extra guy.
Yeah, all those thoughts. We have to take into consideration all of those things and who's available.
Is he good? I know there's no longer probable.
He's looked great. So that's what I can give you right now.
Dave, quick question. What's kind of your routine on a Sunday morning, game day? I mean, do you get a run in? Do you go work out? Is it all football? What's your kind of routine?
Yeah, if I get to the stadium, first thing I do is work out. Got a lot of excitement, a lot of, nervous energy, excitement energy and all that. And I'm just kind of like, I need to make sure that I can get my body back down to a neutral so I'm grounded so I can be focused for the game. So I usually start off that way, and then I take my call sheet and I like going up into the coach's box so I can see the whole field, and I kind of just visualize a couple of drives, put myself into some difficult situations. Hey, it's 2nd and 20. What do you got here? It's okay, we got 3rd and 1. Take it all the way into the red zone, just kind of going through the flow of that. And then the other practical part about it is just saying the plays, calling them out so they come out smoothly. Looking at each one, is there an emphasis for a guy on a route? Is there an emphasis for some type of blocking technique that I might have to use, inflection in my voice? And just practicing that, saying it out loud, it just gets me kind of fluid. It's like vocal exercises for, I would imagine, singers and things like that. It's just like going through it so it just comes out smoothly to the quarterback in his helmet.
Do you run the steps to get up to the coach's box?
I do not. No, I work out on the field. There's some coaches that are braver than I am, some on our staff and some on other staffs that'll definitely take that challenge on. But I try to keep it on the grass or the turf.
It is. It's not like in a gym. You're out
Correct.
of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Dave, how do you prepare for an environment like the one in New Orleans?
Oh yeah, we have crowd noise we use. Crank it up. The closer you get to the end zones, it gets a little bit louder. Certainly, we know in critical moments that's where really the crescendo of the noise. So we try to practice as much as we can at that critical volume so that we can function. We got better every day. Wednesday, we had to work through some issues with the timing of things that we were doing. Thursday was very smooth with the noise, and then today we bring the noise back down, but it's still there just so we can operate, in a silent mode and have all that communication.
From a concentration standpoint, from your point of view, having been in Seattle for all those years, has that
Yeah.
kind of helped you kind of tune it out and kind of train your brain to kind of just focus away from the noise?
Being familiar with that kind of noise, certainly, but of course, the noise was when we were on defense. So that was really just communicating, double headset, communicating to each other from an offensive standpoint. So we really didn't have to deal with that. But feeling what that environment is like, nothing has been as loud as it was in Seattle and Kansas City, some situations in the past. But it does prepare you mentally to, maintain focus, keep doing your work, and being locked in there. And then, of course, just having that good, loud, but clear communication to the quarterbacks, going back to getting the play calls in.
Is there another new pregame tradition you will add or think about adding as a head coach?
Certainly meeting with the officials before, and then, of course, going over an active, so kind of forced traditions now as a head coach. But something that I've enjoyed is to have those dialogues, to meet the officials in person if I haven't met them before, just so that we've already started the lines of communication, and they've been really gracious with helping me out on calls and, hey, this is reviewable, or hey, we have an assist here, you probably should hold on to your flag, just different things that come up in a game. So those are things that I look forward to, those conversations, but nothing really new. No.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thank you.